Hey everyone, and welcome to the Infinite Respawn podcast. I'm Chicken.
I'm Griff.
I'm Baka.
What's up, guys?
Uh,
Oak's out of town again. Again.
Yeah,
I'm pre-
he's fucking with the D&D game.
I'm pretty sure he doesn't actually live here anymore. He just has a temporary home that he touches base and then goes somewhere else because he's always gone. I'm kidding. He's not gone that often. It just really seems like it. Um, but that's okay. We got stuff to talk about today and things, and we can do it. We can do it. Did you
Back
have?
enemy though.
Yeah, probably. Um, did you have a preference on where? I haven't looked at a whole lot. I was too busy showing Baka my new loot bug before the show, so I didn't read.
oh, I mean, there's not like
Ah.
super lot. It's just a lot of mixed stuff all over the place because a lot of the stuff is waiting for Game Awards
Oh, yeah,
before they do all of their announcements and whatnot. Which
we're like a month away, right?
we are a
Isn't
month.
that what
It's
it is?
December 12th, so we're a little less than a month.
Okay.
Like 20 days. But that's perfect because it kind of fills into that first article because people have been waiting. I think it's this week where they announced the picks for the game of the year, the nominees. There it is.
Ah.
That's the word. The nominees for the game
The
of the year.
picks.
The picks. And they came out because they wanted to make sure everybody was on the same page that expansions, new game seasons, DLCs, remakes, and remasters are eligible for all awards.
I don't like that.
I'm
I don't
I'm
like
not
that.
a big
I
fan of that
honestly
either.
think, yeah, they need their own category
I,
at this
yeah.
point.
I feel like they do, especially since it's so prominent now to do. I mean, not just the DLC and like the expansions, but it also covers like seasons of games. So like, oh, Apex is new season 1 game of the year, and it's like that doesn't make any sense though. Why would that why would that trump an actual like standalone game? And I feel like remake and remaster are two different things. If it is a remake, fine, can still be in the running for game of the year. If it is a remaster, all you did was pretty up the graphics and stuff. Nah, that's another category. Especially since we have so many. Why can't we get like a remake remaster category or a remaster category or a DLC category? I just don't think that it should all be in the same.
Yeah, I completely agree. Like it should be separate categories. For game of the year, it should be a full game that was released in the year schedule. And I'll even give it that remakes can be in that category because you are rebuilding a game.
Yeah.
Remasters, not so much. You're just prettying up. You're not actually doing. Not to take away from the people who do remasters, but you're not really doing much short of upgrading the graphics.
Yeah. I mean, you're not rebuilding the game from the ground up, and I get that it's a labor of love and things like that, and it still takes time and money and things, but it's also not something that I feel like should be, because it got better graphics, should not be allowed to compete with like a whole new IP on like Game of the Year territory and things like that. Like, it's just not the same. Especially, I mean, I get it. We're arguing about something that's really just a popularity contest for whoever's Jeff Keighley's best friend at the time. So really, it doesn't matter. But these are the award shows that this is the award show that everybody waits to hold all announcements to, which is also stupid because it's an award show, not like an expo where you should announce things. So,
But
it's
it
kind
is
of
an expo
stupid.
now. It's not an award show anymore. And that's something you got to make sure you iterate to everybody who watches us and everybody else. The Game Awards is not just an award show anymore. It is an awards expo, if I had to change the name of it.
I mean, it
Because
feels like at this point the Game Awards is really Jeff Keighley wants to show you these things because it makes him feel like he's cool. Also, if you're best friends with him, you're going to get a lot more time and probably awards than if you're not. So, time to be best friends.
there's definitely nepotism in there, but I think that they don't necessarily use people that are extremely familiar with the gaming world to pick the winners of that, which they do some where it is community voted and whatnot.
Yeah. I don't feel like, I feel like it's one of those things where it's like, we have some categories that make sense but can cross over, but we don't have other categories that would make sense so they don't cross over. Like, Give a category for best DLC / season, and that's fine. That doesn't need to be in the same thing. Like a DLC should not be able to beat out a brand new game for like best art direction or something like that.
Yes.
Like that just doesn't make any sense, especially since you're just adding on to a thing that already exists. You're not, and that's not the same as making a sequel to a game. That's not just adding on to something that already exists. That is making a whole nother game that has to be full in and of itself, not a DLC or a seasonal event or whatever. I mean, it just doesn't make sense that can be in a lot of the same categories.
Yeah, I think art direction would be a good like placeholder for games or different things with DLC or seasons, because certain games, when they update or change and whatnot, they can change the direction of their game, and maybe they go in a different artistic direction, which is very, very rare for games to change that style. But I mean, because it could just be like the best gameplay direction, and then that could include updates to games, because games change gameplay direction regularly during seasons. They try to mix it up. Like League has a different at the beginning of every season, it's always different. They change something up drastically to revitalize it. So I mean, I guess
I also,
certain
to me,
DLCs.
I feel like DLC maybe has more wiggle room to fit into certain categories than things like expansions, or not expansions, seasons, because seasons are too temporary. It is something that is going to be in effect for 3 months, and then it's the next season's out again. And I know that things like that build, so it's like, well, some of that content's going to stay around, but some of it will not. It is a temporary thing that I don't feel like should beat out something that had to, withstand the test of time, essentially. You know?
Yeah, I agree. I think expansion should be included. Like I can give that, because the only reason is because there are certain games when they do expansions are like better than fully released games.
Because WoW's expansions are like that. Like every time you get a new expansion, it expounds upon the original stuff. It changes. I mean, they did graphical updates through expansions, so that obviously vanilla and current retail look nothing alike. But it's not like there's a new game. It's just that they've added, classes and everything. That I get, but some of the stuff I don't. I also feel like they should have their own categories, too. Just so that things like that do get acknowledged, but they don't have to overtake whole new properties,
Mm-hmm. I completely agree. I think it's very cautious having all of the doors open for all of the categories.
Yeah, it feels like it's gonna leave too many things to be like, oh, we would have nominated that indie game because it was really, really good, but there was a new Elden Ring DLC and a new season for Apex that were also pretty good, and they're already really popular, so we should look at those instead.
I will be 100% honest. I think this whole entire article and the rules changing is based around
Elden Ring.
Elden Ring. I think this whole rule change and whatnot is based around the Elden Ring DLC, just because of how god tier prolific it was, and how much of like, this is a DLC. This is like better than most games released.
I agree. I think that there should be a category for DLCs and like DLCs and expansions, and then maybe do your own, since seasons are so prominent, have your own category with 4 choices for, best season this year, and then go from there. But a season should never be in the same category as like a full game for an award.
I agree.
It just doesn't make any sense, because all you're doing is basically reuse assets, kind of, almost, not quite. I know they add new content with a season sometimes, where it's like this new gun or this new ability or this new hero, depending on what you're playing for seasons, but I feel like that's still not as significant as we made an entire whole ass game over here. Thanks, because you're just adding something into an existing property versus something that's brand new and standalone.
I think you hit it on the head earlier. It's just too temporary. They go through like 3 or 4 seasons a year.
And I mean, I get it. Like the whole thing was DLC, expansions, seasons, and I'm kind of focusing a little bit on seasons right here. But it's because that it feels like trying to put all of those together and be like these are all on the same platform as a whole new game is not really fair. Like it really feels like, oh, but it's because we want to pander to everybody. And we want to, you know, we want to be able to hand out the awards to the people that give us the most money, and those are probably going to be games that monetize stuff like expansions and seasons. And that kind of sucks. Although I will say DLC should have had its own category a long time ago. We've had DLC
Don't they
forever.
have its own? Don't they already have its like
I don't
best
think
ongoing
there's-
support?
Oh yeah, it's ongoing support, but I guess it'd be different. I guess it feels different to have like a specific category for DLC. Like this is a story-based DLC add-on that added a bunch of content to the game and
best,
things like that.
Best content expansion.
I mean, yeah.
Just like that, best content expansion. It includes like everything that you put onto
DLC seasons,
the
expansions.
games. Exactly. Best ongoing, best content expansion. Because it doesn't matter what kind of content. It's just anything you add to the main game. It has to be something added to a main game, whether it's large, small, or anything. And you can pick Apex season 14, and they had 13, 14, and 15 this year. Like you can only pick one of the seasons from Apex. Even though we're on 15, 14 was still the best part of the year. Like you could do something like that. But it has to be some sort of content expansion, and not putting like Apex season 14 into game of the year.
Yeah, it just doesn't.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
Well, that's. I guess we'll see how that's gonna affect things in the next few weeks. But
let me see if I can figure out what day they are announcing the nominees. Nominees. Let's see. It will. Yes, I know.
Is there a list?
Yeah. No, they're not the nominees out yet.
Okay.
But they are supposed to be out this week, November 18th. Tomorrow.
Oh yeah, today's the 17th. Okay, so when this goes up, then that's when they'll also be available. So you can look at it whilst you're listening to us talk about this. How convenient for you.
What do you think? What do you think, future me? How do the nominees hold up?
Well, I guess we'll find out, won't we?
Yes.
I guess let me look at the calendar. You said the awards are on the 12th, right?
Yes, which is
Okay,
a
so
Thursday. And that we have a show that weekend too. Right after.
No, we
so
don't.
We're good.
No, wait, do we? Yes. Sorry, I looked at the wrong. I
Yes,
looked
we
at the
do.
wrong month. My bad.
Okay. I was like, yes, we do.
Okay, cool. Well, then I guess we'll get to talk about all of that soon. Also, I love that my voice is just destroyed right now. I think it just cracked. I sound like I'm going through puberty or something, but I'm not. I'm just kind of slightly sick. So, don't mind me. I'm still going to yell over here. I'm just going to do it anyway.
All right. We'll talk about the Game Awards when they happen and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we'll see what the nominees are. I'm pretty sure they put that out there because there are going to be some nominees that are. It's probably going to be a remake, which is Silent Hill 2, and an expansion, which is the Elden Ring expansion. So we'll see.
Well, I already know what my game of the year is, but you know, I'm sure you do too. It's not shocking. It's not.
It's like the only new game you played this year.
Is that true?
No, you played another one earlier in the year.
Okay, cool. I was like, wait, let me go
Power
back.
World.
Yeah. Let me rethink. Although, can I just say Power World feels like we played it 3 years ago? Like
COVID did a lot. COVID did a lot of damage to all of us.
It's true. Everything seems so much longer in between now. It feels like forever. Okay. All right. Well, what do you want to talk about next then? Because you're right. It does look like it's just a lot of miscellaneous stuff.
Okay. The one thing that I wanted to point out is they canceled the Ubisoft Splinter Cell movie. And I just wanted to point out, so they canceled it very recently. And it was like this one was announced about a decade ago, but they couldn't get it right. I'm gonna give you this little Easter egg. They originally announced a Splinter Cell movie during Chaos Theory. Okay.
Wasn't that a
Chaos
PS2 game?
Theory. Yes.
Okay.
Chaos Theory came out in 2005, almost
Oh.
20 years ago. They had a teaser, a movie teaser in that game when they released it 20 or 19 years ago.
And it just never came. Okay.
And they tried.
Isn't there? But there is still a Netflix show, right?
I don't think so.
Uh,
I mean, there are some Tom Clancy
Splinter Cell
shows.
Death Watch. Is that not? I mean, that's right there in the middle of the article. Which, by the way, I forgot to copy and paste, so I'll have to do that.
It's also still to come.
I'm used to Oak doing it, so I forgot.
I mean,
Animated adaptation.
okay, maybe.
Officially announced it in September. I mean, that I wouldn't be surprised if that got canceled too.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
We will see, but
I mean, I'd rather them cancel it than give us something bad, like
Yes.
so many other video game movies we've had in years past.
Yeah.
the Tomb Raider
Bloodbrain.
Netflix one is pretty good.
I don't know much about the Tomb Raider series, but I enjoyed the show.
Yes, they went pretty good with it. They went with some like certain themes and whatnot, which I thought was interesting to take into account for her character as she's kind of getting into that level of Lara Croft. Because it's like she's an adventurer and whatnot, but she isn't like the hyper experienced version of her because there's all these different. Like you got the Tomb Raider games in which she's like fresh Laura, like just getting her, and then you've got ones where she's well experienced Tomb Raider and things like that. So this one's she got a little experience, but this is kind of like still the early parts of it. So
Early days.
yeah, it's good. I liked it. It was fun, and I'm pretty sure they're coming out with a season 2 also. So
Yeah, I think at the end it said it had a new
More to
season
come.
on the way. Yeah.
yeah. So I liked it. It was fun. They did Castlevania super well. Netflix seems to do okay enough with adaptations. Certain adaptations, like they are the hottest and the coldest media
Yes.
that I can imagine. They do some of the best adaptations, and I have seen them do some of the worst adaptations.
Yes. Yes. Don't watch the Dragon Dogma one. Probably don't watch the Dragon Age one either. That one, not really. I watched about half of it and I'm like, oh, this is so bland and boring. Why are you even doing this? So, I don't know. But they get some things like super, super right. And that's cool. You're right. They are really like, your choices are this will be great or this will be terrible and don't watch it. There's pretty much no in between. So,
Yeah.
I don't know enough about the Splinter Cell universe to know if it was being accurate to the series or not, so I could watch that one and not know. But
Honestly, I think
I mean,
I
I
can
can
understand
tell.
why it was difficult to make a Splinter Cell. It's slow paced and it's very stealthy and dark style. It makes it for a good video game. Like it makes for a great video
Well,
game.
because stealth
I still stand by the
gameplay,
fact
like-
that like Chaos Theory is like the best stealth game I've ever played.
Okay.
It's
Well,
so good, and the co-op is probably better than like it is up there for co-op gameplay. Chaos Theory is one of those top tier co-op games
okay.
of its time. So, they could do it if they wanted to make a good game. They could remake Chaos Theory in modern times and actually have a pretty good game. I mean, I can only imagine what kind of stealth gameplay if they did like 2v2, if they wanted multiplayer style in it. Do like 2v2 where there's NPCs and whatnot, first person to break in and steal something. Kind of a little like Rainbow Six Siege, something like that.
Yeah.
So, but stealth variant of that. So, but you know, there's not guaranteed money. Companies aren't
That's part of it.
risking things these days. They're all risk averse.
Yeah, it's one of those. If you know it's not gonna right out the gate be a blockbuster, they're probably gonna try to avoid it. Which doesn't explain why some things still get made and pushed in, like Borderlands. But because that one, like, y'all should have looked at that and been like, this is not gonna work. But nah, they did it anyway. I guess maybe some of that is so that studios can be like, oh, look, we tried it and it was terrible, so we're never doing that again to justify it. But I mean, I don't know. Speculation.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Well, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe it's one of those things where it's too similar to things like Mission Impossible, and they're like, people have already done it. It's like James Bond and Mission Impossible mashed together or something, right?
Yeah, I guess I could see that.
So maybe they just feel like it wouldn't have put enough new in there for it to not be instantly compared, maybe? I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Well, on the topic of adaptations, Mass Effect is officially getting a TV adaptation from Amazon.
Okay, look, I like what Amazon did with
Fallout.
Fallout. That does not mean that I have faith that they will do everything amazing. Especially since I don't think you can get away with, and they haven't said what it's going to be like. They've just said they're doing an adaptation. So I do not know if that means that it is going to be. I'm sorry if you can hear the cat scratching the door in the background. I'm about to yell at her in a minute, but I don't know if that means that it's going to be like a live action thing or if they're going to do an animated, like a CGI or just an actual animated. Because Netflix is doing pretty well with their animated stuff, adaptations like Chicken was talking about earlier. I don't know what the story is. Please don't make it Shepard or anything to do with Shepard. But I know they want to. I know
It's gonna have a Fast and Furious 9 rider on board with it.
please don't do anything with the main cast. Please don't. Please make it an auxiliary story somewhere off to the side.
They're going to, and it's going to be just as weird and cheesy as the Fast and Furious
Please
movies,
stop.
and they're going to have space race cars, Griff,
No, please don't. Please.
and talk about drifting the spaceships in space. Because they don't know how the physics work in space, but they're going to drift anyway.
I just
Mass Effect Cosmic Drift.
I don't want that, but thank you. I don't want the Star Wars pod racing scenes in Mass Effect world, because that's probably about how good they'd be. I just
You don't want them to pod race the Reapers,
no.
and it's all for nothing. Like if Reapers win, then they just kill everyone, and
You know, thinking about the Mass Effect timelines that you could go with and play with, you could probably get away with and make it pretty decent doing an animated CGI or actual animation, however you want, story that follows Anderson before meeting Shepard and everything, because Anderson has that whole line with the Spectres and the Council and all of that stuff, and he knew Saren and everything. That would be a really cool thing to show off, because I don't think you could make that into its own game, but it would be a fun prequel bit to have and to see and experience, because you hear so much about it through talking to him throughout the 3 games and everything. And I mean, you can get Keith David for the voice acting. Come on, I know you can. It'd be great. He's amazing. But I just don't. I think the problem with a lot of adaptations is they want to follow a game story and they don't do it well. Or they pick a game and go, we're going to do this, but I'm not watching this stuff. Halo, looking at you here. I'm not playing with the franchise or anything. I'm going to do whatever I want and use the characters like it's fan fiction. And that's bad. Don't do that. Don't do that. We don't like that.
Okay, reading through this article, like the guy who was the ex BioWare lead writer, not a big fan of it, partially because in Dragon Age and Mass Effect, you're custom protagonist, and when you make them a character, you kind of design them a specific way, and then your
You
characters
said a
and whatnot,
canon,
which it's fine for that. Like, I get that, and that's all good, but I have to praise, because Fallout is the same way. You fill the shoes of the main protagonist, but they did it right with the show.
yeah,
They took the story outside, and for all that we know, what happens in this show is going to be in parts of Fallout 5. Like, you will see characters that will disappear from the show and end up in the game. So working closely with the company, like the studio making Fallout, helps them make the game so much better. And part of my fear is that they're not going to work alongside BioWare to make this kind of stuff
Fit.
canon, because you can go after Mass Effect 3. You can show a different story, the start of a story. You can make a custom story in there with characters that have nothing to do with the main protagonist. And then the next BioWare game, you're like, oh, that character was in the show. Again, just like Fallout, you got characters that kind of
Yes.
migrate to the
Set it
game.
in the universe, but you don't have to follow the specific, protagonist of the game or whatever. Let it be something outside of that. Also, I would argue with Dragon Age versus Mass Effect being like, well, it's because they had custom protagonists. Yeah, but Dragon Age had 3 different protagonists, whereas Mass Effect had the same protagonist through all 3, and the default male and female, like, they're plastered all over everything, all of this stuff for it. So you kind of already have them set as those 2 default options being canon shepherds, I guess. So I really disagree on that one, but I would still say that's enough to be like, just stay away from making it about the game's protagonist. Make it about something else.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about like trying to do main story style. Just make your own custom story. Work with BioWare and try to make it fit in the BioWare in the universe, and you can make a good story from it.
Yeah.
But
I guess we'll see, but I just don't. I think you can do things like, oh look, they made the ghouls in Fallout on TV, but I don't know how believably you'll get away with a lot of the races in Mass Effect trying to do a live action TV show. Like, the budget for that would have to be astronomical.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong.
And even then, Also, please don't ruin some of my characters, like, Tally and Garrus. Please don't. Thanks.
We shouldn't see any of them.
I would hope not, but, just in case. Just in case. Throwing that out there. Alright, what else is in the news? You want to talk Nintendo or God?
Yeah, we'll do Nintendo. There's
okay.
just a couple of random bits right here, then we'll get to the Blizzard thing. But Nintendo, I find this ironic. This just also emphasizes what we have been saying over the years, that Nintendo is absolutely like rabid when it comes to shutting people down.
Yeah.
I doubt it was Nintendo. I'm pretty sure it was like a Nintendo hired investigator or whatever, somebody that they worked with or hired. But they cross-referenced Reddit posts and hardware repairs to locate a Switch pirate.
Which is wild. That's so much effort.
They will find you. There's also another guy that was like, "Oh, Nintendo will never catch me," and then he's getting sued too. And then there was another one's like, "I'll never stop streaming pirated Nintendo games," and he got shut down too. It's like, why would you tempt the beast? Like, just Nintendo is just one of them to just not bother with.
I think that people also don't give enough credit to what other people can learn about you based on what you've posted on social media. Especially if you do things like, oh, I post Instagram pictures and it has the geotag on and things like that. It's like they can figure out where you're at pretty easily, especially if you're taking pictures of pretty, niche things. I mean,
I have seen so many stories of criminals getting caught maybe because they posted a picture on some kind of social media, and they figured out where they were at based off that.
Yeah.
It's like...
Yeah.
I'm going to give you this one bit of advice, everybody.
Don't be stupid.
Your digital footprint is a whole lot bigger than you realize. And I don't care if you believe that you're using a VPN or you're hiding your accounts or you use incognito or anything like that. You leave a digital footprint.
At the end of the day.
Exactly what he said.
Posted pictures of places that you've been at. Like, everybody likes to make fun of that, things like the NCIS episode where they're like, enhance that license plate, enhance, and then you can all of a sudden see the perfect license plate. It's not like that, but if you posted a picture and there's like a reflection in the window behind you of the small business that's across the street that's a local business, they're just going to Google it and figure out where you're at. I mean, it's not the hardest thing on the planet these days.
they can they have computers these days that can cross-reference pictures and find out exactly what building a picture was taken from.
Which is scary in some respects. But at the same time, at this point, I just assume that's how we live these days. Like, that's where technology is. Here we are. Our AI overlords are on the way. That's why I always say thank you to the robots.
Yes, it's just, it is what it is. It's the kind of thing. So, and these people who are like, oh, Nintendo's, just don't fucking bother with Nintendo, man.
Yeah,
If you're gonna
anybody's
emulate
gonna
or
it.
do whatever your business, you fucking keep it to yourself. Or, because I mean, I watch some streamers who do a lot of older Nintendo stuff and whatnot because they have to use emulators and whatnot. But they don't go around gloating. They keep it to themselves and they keep it low profile.
Yeah.
Like, just keep it low profile.
You definitely don't
and
taunt Nintendo.
Yeah, mind your business.
Also,
Mind
Nintendo, if
your
you're gonna
Nintendo is basically the video game world equivalent of Disney. You don't fuck with them.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, if you're gonna like, if you want to do emulators and be like, "Oh, look, I'm so cool," do it with like Sony or Microsoft. They are less motivated to come after you for whatever reason than Nintendo is. But Nintendo gets like a whiff of impropriety, and they're like, "We're taking this get this guy down." It's like, yeah, but it's like just some dude in middle suburbia. No, we don't care. He's going down. Like,
they are highly protective of their IPs and their technology. So just
we
don't
already
even
know
bother with it.
Nintendo's crazy on a different level. Okay, so just y'all know it. Don't be surprised that stuff like this happens.
100%.
Anyway, what else we got, Chicken?
100%. GOG announces a preservation program, and
thought they
with
were
the
already doing
aims
this.
to maintain game compatibility with modern and future systems. Basically, they want to make it so that no matter what you're running on, that you'll be able to run old games. Because sometimes,
New.
all right, the tragic part of our world is that as technology evolves, we lose the ability to be able, because in about 20, 25, 30 years, you will never be able to play another VHS. Ever. You like VHSs, you'll never find a VHS player. Like, you'll have to make your own, or there will be some weird adapter that you'll have to pay a lot of money for to be able to at least get the content off of the VHS player.
What am I gonna do with my parents' thousands of VHS tapes?
You're gonna have to get the converter like now and transfer them over to DVDs, and because compact discs will be around for a long time. Like, I think compact disc CDs are pretty
Just how
stable way.
VHS work anyway is the same thing with like cassette tapes. For some reason, there's a weird resurgence of people getting cassette tapes for music and stuff playing again. It's like that shit's about to no longer work because of the magnetism or something with it.
Yeah, I mean,
they're gonna get too old.
Yeah,
and they're not gonna keep making them. So
that's wild.
So yeah, like, it's just a matter of inevitability. Like, technology gets further up, we're not going to keep working on older stuff. And that is a huge problem in the industry and the entertainment that we have these days. Like, as we go on, we're going to lose access to a lot of these older games because our systems just won't be able to play them anymore. They're going to be too old. It's like trying to read a book from the 1500s. It's going to be so worn out and worn away that the words just aren't there anymore.
I mean, this already happens with some of the stuff that even I play and have been playing for a few years. Like, if you install, I know I'm an old person here. If you install Sims 2 on like my rig right now, I have to go into the files and fix it because for whatever reason, in anything that I think it was like anything past Windows 8 or something like that, it changes the size the window starts out in. So it basically changes that and then puts black boxes for shadows under everything. And Sims 2, like, that's not that old. Like, we're not talking like, an Atari level game here or something like that. But even those are like starting to have, if you don't know how to fix it, you can either figure it out or you're just like, I own a game I can never play again.
Sims 4 just turned 20 years in September.
Oh, God, that hurts me.
Sorry, Sims 2 turned 20 years.
Okay, I was like, that's not true either, I don't think. 20
The
years
Sims
ago?
2 just turned 20. in September.
To be fair, I did not start playing that game when it was brand new, so at least there's that. But still, old
I
enough
did.
to enjoy Sims 2 over, Sims 4, which I'm just not.
I,
I'm
I,
just
I remember
protesting.
when that came out too. I remember when that. Oh
I
man.
played Sims 1 and I had a couple expansions for it, and then Sims 2, I bought that, and yeah.
I think I started playing Sims 2 in 2008. So I guess it wasn't that old at the time. But it was late because that's almost when Sims 3 came out. I bought Sims 3 brand new.
You had a few expansions
Yeah, I
under
think
that one.
so. Yeah, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
So I still love Sims 2 though. It's so much charm and character in that game. But if you are trying to run it on a newer machine and wondering what's happening, just Google it. It's pretty easy to find the file that you have to fix. You just got to go fix a couple of numbers so that it changes the screen resolution because it sets all of the defaults for a screen resolution that the new screens just can't handle. Because it's like 678 by 550 or something like that for whatever reason.
Oof.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
the first Bloodline games, I had to go in and download something to get it to run right because it kept crashing.
I mean, at least with The Sims, you don't have to download. You just have to open the actual like README file for the game settings, so that you can adjust it, save it, and then go about your business.
Well, to be fair, the thing that I got also added in all the some of the extra content that got removed for
Mm-hmm.
whatever reason. Because
Mm.
I want to say in the original game that there was a certain quest line you could not finish at all. Like they just like left it out. Well, they didn't leave it out. You could do most of it, and then it just kind of cuts off and goes, "All right, we're done." It's like, where's the rest of the story to this?
Yeah, that's weird.
That's how I felt about Deus Ex Humankind. When you got to the end and it cut off, and you're like, where's the rest of this game?
Well, I mean, to be fair, it wasn't part of the main story. It was a side quest, but
Mm. That
it
sucks.
just it was still just kind of like, yeah, we just didn't have time to finish it out. So
That actually, there's a
Back
quest line
now,
Dragon. No, go ahead.
nowadays we just have it patched on. But anyway, go ahead,
Yeah,
Chris.
there's a side quest in Dragon Age 2 that I ended up having to try to find a workaround for too, because there's something about playing it on new stuff. There was a point where it would lock you out for some reason. I can't remember what I ended up having to do, but it was changing part of a file name so that it would continue on because for whatever reason in the updates and whatnot on new stuff it was written wrong apparently. So weird. But it just like lock you out of the rest of the quest progression for side quest for a specific side quest chain. And it
Fun
was
stuff, fun stuff.
this is the gaming world we live in.
Yeah, but GOG is taking it onto themselves to fixing compatibility errors with these older games and making sure that they work well and that they can still run on systems and whatnot. And so it's good that somebody out there is looking out for these older games because they're going to be in a nursing home soon with how old they're getting, and they need all the care they can get.
And I also know, like, some people in the comments are like, well, GOG's just doing that because they're selling the old games and they don't want to sell you a broken product. And it's like,
Hell yeah.
I still think that it's valuable that they're doing it, though. Like, good for them. I don't really see the downside. Your comment comes across as negative, but I don't think it should.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, okay, it's a cynical PR gesture to me. Yeah, it kind of is, but
I mean, they
we
want
live
to
in
be
a
able to continue.
capitalistic society. You have to make money. And they want to ensure their ability to keep making money by making sure that these
But I
old games
mean,
support.
it serves two purposes. GOG has always wanted to have players be able to reach the games that they want, which is why they do things like the DRMC free or DMC whatever.
DRM.
Thank you, PRM free stuff and things like that. So it's one of those things where it's like this is if a company was going to do it and it not just be for PR, it'd be them. So I really don't think that it's like I don't think that's coming from a cynical place as much as some of these comments really want to make it seem like it.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And yeah, like sometimes the morals and the needs and necessities line up for these companies, and this is just one of them, where it's like we need to make money, and we also love supporting our old games. Well, this is a perfect example of how we can do both: make money and support these old games.
I mean, GOG actually stands for good old games. I'm just
Exactly.
saying. it's kind of in their name. They need to be able to support it. So.
Exactly. So.
Oh. All right. Well, do you want to talk about the WoW stuff?
Woohoo! Lots of
WoW I guess,
stuff.
yeah. I mean, it's the Blizzard stuff. Whatever.
The Warcraft 30-year Warcraft anniversary. Okay. 30 years of not World of Warcraft, of Warcraft.
The first Warcraft game, right?
Yes, 30 years from the first Warcraft game. It's 1994. Woo, God. 1994 when the first Warcraft came out. And everybody could kind of feel this one coming, but they have remastered both Warcraft 1 and Warcraft 2.
And they supposedly fixed Warcraft 3 that was remastered but broken.
Completely redid Warcraft 3 Reforged, which is I'm happy for that, because sometimes companies will just, oh, this game is shit, it came out shit and everybody's unhappy with it, just throw it to the garbage and let it go. We'll go. No, but this Warcraft 3 Reforged 2.0 is apparently supposed to fix all of the major issues that people had with it.
Let's hope it does.
Yes, absolutely. And it's nice to be able to go back for those people that want to see where Warcraft actually began. They can now go back and get Warcraft 1. And I love that they have put it into a battle chest, which is in my opinion is a pretty good value. It's $40 for all three games.
We'll
That's not too bad.
I remember their old battle chests, like the physical things of them. Like,
we have one.
Because I have one. I've got the I think we have Warcraft 1. I think I got a Diablo one too.
Yeah, you've got the Diablo one, and I had a Warcraft.
I got a Diablo battle chest, which had
yeah,
Diablo 1.
I had
too.
the Warcraft 2 one with the expansion and stuff.
I wonder. I'll have to ask Red if he's gonna buy 3, because he bought it. It was broken.
Yeah.
It's like the only game he's ever refunded.
Yeah. Go ahead, Baka.
Sorry.
No, but I played 2 first, and then I went back to play 1, and like having to go through and build the roads to all the houses and farms. I'm like, wow, what the fuck?
I don't know.
I got so used to just I'm gonna throw this down here and build up like that, like most RTSs and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that one was like, nope. If you want them to do anything, you got to build all these roads all over the place. I'm like, is that fucking dumb?
I'm very interested. I have not played Warcraft 1 or 2. I haven't played them with urgency. I've seen them and I've kind of been around playing them, but I haven't like sat down and played it, like actually played it.
I played 2 all the fucking time for years. That was probably one of my more favorite ones to play.
Okay, since you played that one so much, are you interested in checking out the remaster?
No, maybe. I don't know. That's going to be one I'm going to wait to see if they fuck it up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not going to buy that day one. I'm going to wait to see if they go, yeah, well, we remade it, but, there's all these bugs and other issues with it. And it's going to be like, yeah.
They did do the thing that Halo did when they did their first really big remaster, which was you can play it in the updated graphics, but at any point in real time you can roll it back to the previous, like you can swap back and forth to see. And with that one, I think they even said they had settings where you could pick certain units would be in new graphics versus old, depending on what you were playing as well.
Oh, that was for Warcraft 3 Reforged.
Was that? Oh, was that for 3?
Yeah,
I thought it was for all of them.
No, they're
okay, my bad.
They're giving you the ability to do.
But it was for all of them that you could roll back and see new versus old.
That was swap back and forth.
Definitely for all of them.
Yes, I'm interested to see how it's going to come out and what kind of reception it's going to get for it, because I hope it's good. Like, hopefully Blizzard took the time and gave it the care that it needed and made sure that it was well done.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, if it comes out good and everybody's kind of like, yeah, I'm feeling it, these are pretty good, I like it. I mean, for $40 for 3 full games, I'm down. I'm down to play.
Yeah.
We'll play some Warcraft 2, Baka. We'll go old school.
That could definitely be a you guys.
Go back to the 90s and play video games. Get told we're staying up too late and the games are gonna rot our brains.
I mean, that they may have for a lot of people.
Mm.
You're not wrong.
Mm.
But yeah, that was one of the announcements for Warcraft, or for the Warcraft 30th. Um, Nobody plays Hearthstone. I've played it. I've dabbled a little bit. They're adding a Heroes of StarCraft mini set, so they're kind of doing this crossover with StarCraft. It's
Mm.
I tried getting into Hearthstone, and I just no.
Not
yeah.
your
I mean,
thing.
I played it a little bit. There's so many different ways to play it now. I kind of feel old trying to play
Well,
it now.
it's well, yeah. I mean, it's the same thing with a lot of like card games, like Magic and stuff like that. Is like if you are not constantly keeping up and keeping up with the new cards and the new sets, and you start falling behind,
Mm-hmm.
then like it just becomes so much of a pain to like hop back into it because all these people have all these really good cards that either you can't get anymore, or they, the physical versions anyway, become very expensive to track down and get. And some of them, they're like core things for most decks now,
Oh.
that you kind of need in order to be even remotely competitive with it. And it's just like, I don't want to keep track of that shit anymore.
Yeah, that's why I can't play constructed. I just do arena, which is a draft based. You know how to do that one. It's some coins, and
Yeah,
then you make a fresh deck with everybody else, and everybody has access to all the same cards.
Magic does a lot of draft-based tournaments. Last time I tried to play, and I have really shit luck when it comes to pulling cards for that. So, um, yeah, it's still not as fun. Like I know, like some people were doing commander decks and stuff like that, and it's just I don't know, just it's too much time and too much money to sink into things like that. And even with the digital card games like Marvel Snap, I've got a couple of good decks, but even playing that like just every once in a while, like there's so many cards that constantly come out that people start throwing in that become staples, and it's like I never got that card, and I can't do much against that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel that. But yeah, this little crossover thing. It's supposed to be a StarCraft mini set. They're gonna show off more. It's gonna be. I guess it's gonna be completely different than normal. But Hearthstone has the auto battler mode, the adventure mode, the solo mode, the trials mode. Like it's got so many different modes in it. It is
All the
crazy.
modes.
Yeah, and they're also doing an arena update, which is what I was just talking about, the draft style. Um, it comes with a redraft on a loss, which means if you lose a game, you can redraft some cards or whatever. And then they announced a preview of the year, which I think Hearthstone's got a pretty decent support style. It comes in three phases. So Emerald Dream, Shrouded City, and Time. And then there's two pieces in every phase. So it's like every 2 months is a content update, which is not too bad. And then every 4 months is a new section of stuff. So it's you get a battlegrounds and a mini set, and then a battlegrounds and a mini set, a battlegrounds and a mini set. So they just kind of keep updating it every few months to kind of keep it fresh and keep people engaged.
Hmm.
Oh, launch on December 10th. Okay, that's what I was looking for. Anyway, uh, next was Warcraft Rumble. I don't know if Baka has played it, but I've played it a bit. I've
My phone
even
won't run it.
oh damn,
It won't
really?
even let me. Yeah, it won't even let me download it. It's just like nope.
Well, guess what, you lucky SOB? It's coming to PC December 10th. That's right.
Oh no, something else that sit in my
Uh,
library that I probably won't ever touch.
Listen here now.
Uh, it's fun. It like I've played it a few times. I play it every now and then. It's fun. It's good. It's enjoyable, and it's something that you really don't have to try hard on. I just like to do the little missions and then collect the little minis and try to level up my group, and it's really nothing. Um, it's been 1 year for that game. Their biggest thing was split leaders, which is basically instead of like your big heroes being one specific family, it's two parts of a family. Like they have two families that they can belong to. So,
Huh.
no, nothing serious. It's pretty neat. I can't wait to see it played on PC. I'll be able to stop playing it on my phone It's a pretty intense game. So
Is that? I guess that's why Bacchus won't run it.
yeah, it can be a pretty intense game.
Yeah, I kind of went with a cheap phone just because I mean I don't really use my phone for all that much anyway. So
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I'm in a game. It's on my fucking PC. So
Hell yeah,
Yeah,
that's right. Uh, in World of Warcraft news, which I think is most of the news after this.
probably.
Yeah, they talked about the Netflix series about the documentary. I can't. How do you pronounce his name?
I don't know.
Iblin Mattstein. It's on Netflix. A Norwegian who suffered from a disease, and they have put out a pet a supporting pet for him.
Yes.
Not for a nonprofit organization dedicated to improving and extending the lives of those affected by the disease. So Blizzard loves doing this. They also put a memorial in the game for him too. It's a great documentary on Netflix. So if you're interested to see what kind of World of Warcraft can be for some people, it's a great documentary that I would recommend watching. And of course, they're going to donate the proceeds from the little Revan pack, which is the detective box that he created for his
His
detective
RP,
service.
Yeah.
Yeah, his RP detective service, which was it's just pretty cute. I like it. It's tragic, but at least Blizzard's doing something to remember him.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yep. Let's see. Season of Discovery for classic WoW, classic WoW.
Super
All sorts
classic.
of different. Yeah. All right. So Season of Discovery, which is the Classic Plus, I leave that loosely. Classic Plus version of WoW. They are getting ready to release the Encourage War Effort, which they will do the whole war effort and then open up the gates of Encourage and get in there and do more stuff and things like that. Then they also showed what's looking forward to after that phase, which has really got me kind of
Interested.
I feel like I actually have to go back and play now
yeah,
because
I've been debating about it as well.
I
Because
feel you. Yeah.
What's making you guys want to play? Because you haven't said what it is yet, so go ahead.
Okay, so the final phase is going to be Nax. So the final phase, and one of the things that has always been lurking beneath the surfaces of lore in the world in classic WoW is that there was a lot of stuff that was untouched that they had plans for that they never did. One of them was Hearthglen. It's a major Scarlet Crusade, which is like the Zealotous faction in WoW that deal with the undead, but they are kind of zealotous that if you're not with them, you're against them, and if you're undead, you're against them no matter what. So they are you don't fuck with. But there's a huge area filled with nothing but elites. You can't go in there by yourself, and it's open world too. But it was supposed the rumors around it was it's supposed to be designed for an instanced area or a dungeon, but they never got around to it. They're hinting that there's supposed to be a new raid or dungeon based around that zone. So they might be putting in content that was
Completely
originally
cut.
planned, but it was cut out entirely and never done anything with. So this might be their opportunity to get in there and kind of expand on that lore around the Scarlet Crusade. Interested, highly interested, really interested, especially since it's during the Naxxramas raid. They're very against the undead. Naxxramas is undead, so this would kind of add more compelling lore to the fight between these factions. And new adventures in Deadwind Pass. Deadwind Pass is pretty much a dead area. It's a small little sliver area that you just go through. It had Karajan in it. It was like a major focal point that was almost overlooked in Classic.
Well, because you only ever went there to get to the raid, and that was it. Like there wasn't anything to do
And not
there.
in Classic. There was nothing in Classic.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, there was nothing in Classic
yeah,
that had
I mean
anything to do with
the
Deadwind.
building was there, but yeah, and there were creatures, but there was no point to do anything out there.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
maybe try to run around if you're looking for mining nodes or other materials, but
Other than that,
nothing. And there are hints that they are going to be redesigning and adding some stuff to Deadwind Pass, which means we might get the Mirror Karajan that we never got, or the the basement Karajan that we never got.
The
So
upside down.
yeah, like those two things I want to experience. A lot of this stuff that they've put in there is like some new stuff and things like that, but it's kind of a lot that we've seen or at least have felt before. But adding these kind of things towards the end game has kind of drawn me up a little bit to where I'm like,
Maybe.
I I mean, I've been like hard debating about picking a day of the week and just playing WoW on that night, like every week. Like pick it for a raid day so that I can pick up a group with somebody or just do pugs. Basically, make it my chill night to where I'm going to play WoW or pick up for my raid night or something like that. Like I'm like hard debating because I'm not leading. I'm not leading. If I'm gonna play WoW again, especially raid, I'm fucking sitting in the back and I'm doing my job. And the raid leader's gonna be like, "Good job. I'll see you next week." And that's about as far as I want to go with it. And maybe I'll play it once or twice during the week. But other than that, like I'm not looking for anything. But this new stuff is kind of giving me that little sprinkle again, where I'm like, I want to see that stuff. I want to see that stuff again. Like I want to see it. I want to see what they're gonna do to it.
The mage healing in it was kind of interesting, but it did not feel very strong when we were playing. So
yeah, we were very
like,
early
as an individual like party healer. It felt more like it's like I can off heal like how druids and stuff used to be in raids, but as far as like a main healer role, I was like, this is not all that great.
I'm
But
gonna do a little
I
research
don't
because
know.
I'm interested in how it is now. Season of Discovery healer tier list.
You can do your research at some other point.
I know.
Yeah.
It's just I
I
was just
know.
thinking, oh, they're they're A class healers, A tier healers.
Well,
So
maybe they
that
buffed
they
them.
may have, well, either that or maybe some of the stuff they got higher levels helped it quite a bit.
Yeah, like they
'Cause,
do a
yeah, it
ton of
was
damage
weird.
and healing.
Yeah, I was about to say because that's how it seemed like it was. It's like I've got to damage stuff to be able to throw out some good heals, but
Yeah. So all right, cool. It's not a very popular class, but it is pretty powerful. It can hold its own. They're kind of up there with resto druids, so that's good. Anyway, but yeah, that has kind of I've always been, crawling back to WoW to play some more, always.
Mm.
Um,
it's
oh,
it's like our constant little drug. It's like, yeah, we think we've kicked the habit, and then it's like, no,
I
I've
someone
almost
great
stopped playing for
repackaged
a
it.
year. I've almost stopped playing for a year.
I do
So
not need a
someone
hit.
great
So.
repackaged it, and went, here you go.
Put a new stamp on it, and it's like it's brand new. Yeah, Griff's done with WoW
I'm
forever.
interested because that is stuff that I too remember and everything. I think I'm just so burnt by the absolute commitment, like it was a job, that I'm still a little.
Why do you
Yeah,
think I literally just stated
I
that
don't
it's
want
not
to
going to be a
do.
job? I would pick a night where I
Yeah.
would play all the time. Like that would be my night, my WoW night.
I know.
That's
I
it.
heard you.
And I'm not a leader, so I could just not do it.
Like I'm not gonna show up tonight, thanks.
Pretty much, but like I got the shit, so I need to go away. I can't do that. But hey, nothing makes an excuse like that, huh?
What
Stuck on
else?
the toilet all night.
What else did they announce for that stuff?
They announced the classic run. I'm calling that the classic run. Because right now we're on Cataclysm. They announced Mists of Pandaria, which to everybody's surprise was not a surprise.
Yeah, that's just expected. Whatever.
Yeah, and
I wonder if they're going to end there, or if they're actually going to do.
I think they're going to keep going. I
world.
think they're going to try to release all of them to bring you back to current. I think that's how it's going to go.
Ooh,
Because Warlords,
Warlords was trash.
It'll have like a 6-month like cycle where they just every month is a new phase until they go to Legion. But you know what's going to be absolutely bonkers is that some of these people are going to be so salty if they make it all the way up to Modern WoW, like all the way up to Shadowlands and Dragonflight, and then get up to the current expansion. They're going to be like, all right, you guys can transfer your characters to retail now, and we're going to start over again. So they move all of that stuff that you collected that you can't collect anymore up into here, and then you're going to have all of these like classic items that you haven't been able to see for years back into retail. It's like you're gonna go back in time, collect all the stuff, make the push all the way through, get these severely time limited items that, once you're past that phase, you can't get. It's gonna make retail players want to go back, get the stuff, and then play through the rest of it so that when they can transfer their character over to retail, they get those added to their collections. It's the only way that you're going to get those like impossible items is you've got to go back in time, play through it or collect it during it, and then wait till the expansions get up to modern, and then you can bring it to your collection.
Ugh, that's too much work for me.
That's how they're going to do it. That's how they're going to do it because they know people are suckers for collections.
I mean, it's true. A lot of people. I collected stuff when I was playing retail. I was super big into the mount collection, and it was like my free time killer. But I did not do that when we went back to classic. That was just too much effort. I had no interest in devoting any more of my time to it than I had to, which was a lot already. So
yes. So that's Miss Pandaria,
you'd make
and I'm
people
sure they're going to
mad
keep
doing
going.
that though, because they'd be like, "Well, now it's not special that I got it back in the day."
The only thing you could do is show the achievement.
Like when you
January
got
or
the achievement.
June 16th, June 9th, 2009 is the day. I'm pretty sure that's the day
That they put
that
in
you, if you,
achievements.
that they put in achievements, and all the classic achievements that you had were brought over. So if you got like Thunder Fury or certain mounts or different things, if you got the achievement marked for that date, that means you had it in classic, the real classic. Not classic foe, you had real classic items.
They're also redoing, like they're doing fresh realms for classic, so that you
Yes,
can
they're
just go
it's
again.
classic 20th anniversary. Yes, they are releasing because there's classic era, which is I guess normal classic servers. But well, these ones are just like fresh servers because they have classic era servers that people play classic on right now, and they're just classic versions. But they've been around for 5 years, so they're deeply molded already with so much people, so many people on them, and so much of the economy and all of that stuff already set. So these ones are completely fresh, no market, nothing, just to start over again.
I guess if
It's
that's your
just
thing.
season.
The
It's
only
just
way
seasonal
that that's
based.
not going to be like a repeat is if they flat out go, look, no GDKP things, or no,
They did
none
that.
of that.
They did that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They.
really.
That was
I
one of
didn't
the.
read that in there.
It's not in here, but that was one of the first Blue Post's announcements that they were talking about. Is that there is no GDKPs on WoW Anniversary servers, none. It is against the spirit and the integrity of what they feel a classic version of this game because it disrupts communities and hurts guilds. So there is no GDKPs in this one.
Yeah.
So
So that's nice.
I was waiting for him to say that too because I knew GDKPs were going to come up, and I was like, this is perfect segue. But yeah, no GDKPs in this one. So
That might be interesting to do then, because yeah, that kind of shit kind of killed the economy with the our classic run. Because people
hundred
were just
percent.
like, yeah, I just made like 5,000 gold out of this little thing, and it's like, but now you're throwing shit up on the auction house for ridiculous prices, and the rest of
Yeah.
us that don't do that, we can't afford to buy the materials we need to make our shit.
Yep,
Yeah, it
it
definitely ruined
completely
some
fucked them.
things.
Yeah, so and also these realms will progress into TBC too. So it looks like they're starting over again.
But they're also getting some things that we got for like later on, like the Chronoboon Displacer with Saves Your World buffs, and improved
Mhm.
PvP honor ranking. They got some stuff that was nice, like quality of life upgrades that they'll have like right out of the gate too.
Yeah, people are calling for dual specs and things like that. So I'm interested to see what they want to do with that because dual specs has always been one of those things that's like just give it to us because oh my god, I hate having to change specs,
Yeah, to
but
go
I
and
don't know.
Yeah,
respec.
like having to like spend the money to constantly respec if to either tank or heal or whatever, or and have another one for DPS, or it just Yeah,
I think
I think dual spec should be something right out of the gate as well.
Yeah, I think if we're gonna add anything, I think dual spec should be one of those things that just kind of adds some life to it because things are so rigid, so strict in classic that I think dual spec will add a little bit of flexibility in there to allow players to be able to heal and tank more often. Because if you got a DPS player that has a tank set but doesn't want to go spec, he's like, whatever, I'm not going to go respec this time. They're going to probably respec if they can go, oh yeah, I have a tank spec, let me respec, and they could just click a button. It's a more convenient. Yeah, I get it. I'm old school too. I like the older, tougher style, but I understand community wise that a dual spec would be more helpful than harmful for something like
Yeah,
this.
because otherwise they got to go back to a major city. They've got to redo all the points and the money,
Yeah.
and
Redo their
that take
bars
time
because
from.
bars don't save.
Yeah, it'd be easier for them to go cool, respec into that. Especially if a situation arises, it's like, oh well, our off tank, internet completely dropped out and crashed. So
Yeah, let me change a spec. I mean, hell, if they even want to
I
be
feel like
like,
you're calling somebody out specific, and I know exactly who.
I was not
Be
trying
a
to.
bear.
be a bear.
Uh,
But yeah,
To be fair, our bear could still hold threat even
Only
when
if
he
he
gets
had been
connected.
a bear at the start of the fight, and in the fight by the time that his net dropped. If he had not, you have us yelling, "Be a bear! Be a bear!" Why is he just standing there?
be a bear only to get slapped. Like
Well,
brother man got clapped.
and so did everybody
That's-
standing immediately behind him. Me and Kath. Oh God, we were both right there. We
And
just got destroyed.
and when that happened, I would go find a corner and
Yeah,
just
man,
pretend to die.
man, fuck you, and your fucking fuck you. I'm so glad that sometimes purposely people ran on top of you.
Look at those dicks.
Yes. Moving on, they talked about the War Within, which is if I play WoW, I might play the story just because I'm interested to see where the story is going. I have no interest in like
Story.
playing the game, but I want to see where they're going with this arc because they're doing a trilogy, which leads me to believe that they're kind of
Wrapping up.
leaning to the end of what we know of as World of Warcraft. But they showed off the new Isle, the new land for questing and whatnot.
Siren Isle.
They always do a major like land area mid expansion. Plunderstorm is coming back too, which I'm very interested in playing because it was fun. It's very very weird.
I
but
don't remember that one.
Plunderstorm is that
He's
battle. I don't forget. What's PUBG? It's a multiplayer battle arena.
Yeah.
Yeah, Plunderstorm was that. You make a character, and it was a Rothi Basin, and you get dropped in a Rothi Basin or Rothi Highlands. Yeah, Rothi Highlands, and you have to go around and farm, like kill the mobs there, and you level up your character, and you can pick up abilities or loot stuff, and they give you different abilities, like you could have a grappling hook or different abilities to heal you because you also had like a bandage that you could heal yourself with,
Oh, it was a battle
and then
royale.
yeah, battle royale.
There
That's
we
the
go.
word. It was a battle royale. So you go through and you start killing all the mobs and leveling up, and then trying to hunt down the other players and beat them in like one-on-one combats or two-on-one combats. It was pretty interesting gameplay for something like that. It was very weird, but it was kind of fun. I played a few
I don't
rounds of
think
it.
I don't think I got a chance to play that one.
Yeah, it was very weird. It was very fast paced. Games were like 10, 15, 20 minutes. Like you drop in, you start grinding right away, get your level up, pick up some items, pick up some abilities and whatnot, and then try to start scrapping with people. You either win or lose, and then you're out. Like you lose, you're out. Cool. So it was kind of neat. Very interesting. I'm down to play a little more. They talked about the War Within, the new War Within novella, which I guess centers around Jaina.
Yeah,
Finds out what happened to Jaina and
yeah.
Thrall after the fall of Dalaran. Then the Undermine, which is the new zone, which is going to be the Goblin City underneath. They're giving you cars that you can customize and go vroom vroom on the streets. They're doing Fast and Furious 9 underground.
Let me tell you, every time Warcraft has been like, here's a vehicle-based thing we want you to do, it's been friggin' awful. Stop it.
That's
Stop
a lie.
it.
Dragonflight was great. Their flying mechanics
Okay.
were incredible.
That's fine. I'll give you that one. I didn't play it, so I mean, I don't know. But any other time where they're like, here's vehicle-based combat or vehicle-based anything, it's been like, please stop this. Why do you make us hate these things?
Years of trying, maybe they finally got it right.
Maybe. Hopefully it'll be a far cry from what was the PvP one where it's like, all right, get in the things and take the bombs to the gate so that you can break the gates down. And which one was that?
Oh yeah, the one the Horde always won because like they would just roll through everything.
Yeah, and Alliance was always like, fight in the roads, you guys, because that's where we need to be. Should we group up and try to take care of that? No, 1-on-1, go for it. Yeah. I don't remember what the name of that one was. Isle of Keldon? No, wait, that's not it. That's the whole thing. Never mind, that's not what it was. It was Isle of something, wasn't it?
Hold on, I'm looking.
Isle of Conquest?
No, Isle of Conquest was a different one.
Yeah, that was a totally different one. I don't remember what it was called, but I hated that one.
It was Siege of something.
I don't think it was Siege. But it was definitely not, because that one came out when we were still doing like hardcore PvP stuff, and we were like, oh, new battleground, and it was, you needed to get vehicles and stuff, and it just was not fun. It was not fun at all.
I know. I'm looking for what it was called. I can't believe I forgot.
Strand of the Ancients?
Strand of the Ancients.
There we go. Yeah.
Yes. Strand of the Ancients. There you go, bud.
Yeah.
I did not like that
I
one.
was looking at the list of stuff and I was like, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's on a temporarily removed battleground list right now, apparently.
Yes, it is. Nobody liked that one. It was absolutely
along with South Shore versus Terran Mill.
Yeah, that one was also not fun. I did not play that
I mean, we did that one in fucking Classic anyway.
Well, we did that one when you actually went to South Shore, but...
Yeah, the real one. But for the big expansion for War Within, they're releasing a new dungeon and a new raid. So, but of course, stuff.
Yeah, I mean, makes sense. They release their roadmaps for all of this stuff too. So if you're interested in any of it, almost everything has a roadmap that you can take a look at and see when it's supposed to be.
When she links the stuff into Discord,
it's already in Discord. You can see it.
You'll be able to grab it and see the face. Like Classic 20th Anniversary Edition, like the classic WoW is gonna go through the phases pretty fast. It looks like it'll be about a year to get through the entire WoW Classic, which is also very interesting. It's like I like that little hustle, kind of get through it.
Go.
I might want to like do it all again and not lead this time so that I can actually enjoy the game, because leading a raid was very stressful, and it took a lot of effort. So being able to do it again and not lead, like be very clear that I am not leading this thing, which, you know, leadership just kind of falls into the laps of leaders. But sometimes you just like, this time I will try to avoid it.
People did not understand how much extra stuff that Chicken and I did outside of raid, and how much of our life revolved around, like, on the way to work, we're talking about raid stuff. On the way home, we're talking about raid stuff. While we're at work, we're messaging about raid stuff. Like, people just totally did not understand how much of an actual job it became for us as the raid leadership.
I remember one time we went out to breakfast and took notebooks to fucking build comps and whatnot for our raid team.
It was when we were swapping over from, you know, the guild that we were in to when the guild was merging, and then when we were going through expansions, and so we needed to rebuild the team basically. And we took notebooks and pens to breakfast to sit at a table like the nerds we are and hatch out who needs to be where and play what and do this. And
yes, it was a lot of work. So. Well, it was not a thankless job. We got a lot of credit for what we did. People loved us for what we did. You got a lot of credit
for what we did.
Well, the silent pillar does not get a lot of respect. But
yeah, I know.
I would not have been able to do it all without you. Here you go, everybody.
Yeah. If any of our raiders are listening to it, please don't take this as we do not love you. I absolutely loved Unicorn and everybody that was there, you know, that hung around and everything. We had, you know, a couple bad apples here and there, but it was a lot of work. And everybody just expected that all we did was show up on Wednesday and Thursday. And it's like, oh, buddies, if only you guys. But we did it for the team.
Yes. So that's all of that. But there was one
thing that they should have done like 15 years ago.
Well, they didn't want it to, like, their problem with this is that they could never get it to work the way they want it to, because it's so important for, like, I say it's so important for the social part of the game, but they don't really care about that because everything is soloable now any day anyway. But they have announced player housing. Okay.
Which is, again, it's something that the players have wanted for a very long time. This is not like they had a genius light bulb moment or something. People have asked for it.
See, and they said it is the most technologically difficult thing to make and make it right, because they saw a little bit in Warlords of Draenor with the garrisons, and they really did not like how isolated people became during that. So they want to be able to figure out a way how to give people housing without making them so isolated. See, my theory is that they're going to do layers either in zones so that people can buy housing layers for guilds, and then you could you can claim bits of land and put your housings down so that you're not isolated. You're in
it's gonna be in a
housing
city.
layer.
It's gonna be in a
That's
major
fine.
city.
Do it in neighborhoods in major cities so that you can zone in either randomly to a neighborhood so that you can go in and like see other people's houses.
Is this classic or is this the new
this
stuff?
is going to be in retail.
This is the new stuff. This is in retail.
Well, it's going to be. It won't be. I don't think they're ready to do that anytime soon. But
no, it's for Midnight, World of Warcraft Midnight, which is the next expansion.
Yeah. Which does not have a date yet or anything.
Yeah,
but...
I think they're gonna do neighborhood style so that people can still be social for it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they do this, because in other MMOs that I have played, any of them that have done the housing have run into a similar issue, like Star Wars Galaxies that I was playing for a while because I got the bug for it. The issue with that is that they make only so many plots of land available on all the planets. I mean, it's still a lot, but if you have a lot of players, they will buy up those plots of lands and build their houses and stuff on them, and you can go to them and interact. Some people leave the doors unlocked, so you can just go in there and look around. That's all cool and neat and stuff, but the issue becomes where, especially for a game with as many players as World of Warcraft, the issue back in the day with Galaxies anyway is like once all those lands are bought up and everything, that's it. Like, so if you come in and you want to get a house and nothing is available anywhere, that's it. You just have to wait until someone does not, because they made it to where you had to pay X amount of credits every month to keep it.
Oh, you were renting it.
Yeah, okay. I don't do that here.
Like, and it was like, okay, well, you have to pay, let's say like 2,000 credit a month, and if you decide you stop playing for a while, or you don't have the money for whatever reason, yeah, it's gone. Like that just becomes like, look, cool, that now becomes for sale. Someone else can come in and buy it, and boom.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think WoW's got the layering technology down too well, that if like too many like if you fill up one layer, they'll just add another layer, or they'll let guilds buy layers so that you can have an entire like guild housing area.
I do think that he's right, though. I do think there'll be a rent aspect to it, because it'll be a way to keep people on the treadmill. You got to log in, got to do your dailies, because you got to pay your home rent and everything else. And it's like, look here.
No, I don't believe that, because
you don't think so?
because I believe that this is going to be what let the players carry on to the next World of Warcraft game. In my tinfoil hat theory, these are what Blizzard is going to call the ancestral homes. You put all of your collectibles, your toys, your outfits, your mounts, like all of the stuff that you have collected over the years, they are now attached to your house and your account, no longer your character. so that when you go into the next level of World of Warcraft, the next game, World of Warcraft 2, if you want to call it something cheesy, you will have access to your ancestral home, your heritage home, which still has all that stuff that you worked for, all of those collectibles, everything that you've ever done in World of Warcraft will now be attached to your house. You're not losing it. If you want to make the switch, you can go ahead and try it out. Come play the new World of Warcraft. All your stuff is still there. You can still use it. It's still part of it, but it's still here. You don't have to worry about losing, because honestly, that's the thing that I have heard from so many retail players throughout the years and years and years is I don't want to lose all my stuff. I don't want to lose all my stuff. I've worked so hard on getting all my stuff. I've done it before. I don't want to do it again. I have too much stuff. I spent too much time. Cool. Now you can keep it all and continue on playing into the next stage, the next era of World of Warcraft. See, that's my theory, is that they are doing this now here in this trilogy to get people ready, especially for Midnight, because Midnight is number 2 out of 3. They do it now, they expand on it, they get people comfortable with it, then they do the finale for the trilogy, and people are good, and they've kind of said their plans, and people are like, okay, I mean, I get to keep all my stuff, I could try it out. I don't know if I'm going to move, but at least I have all of my stuff. It makes that transition easier for people.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's my tinfoil hat thing.
We'll see. Midnight's announcement is at the end of or the mid part of next year. It's like August or something on the roadmap. Autumn. It says autumn. Well, it's late summer, early autumn is where that's at. It's kind of in the middle.
So it'll probably be June or July.
So we'll find out.
Maybe. Yeah.
But, do you want to talk about anything that we've been playing this week? Because I realize we're like an hour and a half. So you did it again, Chicken. Oh, there's not much to talk about.
Well, hey, you let me talk about WoW stuff for far too long.
Yeah. I mean, there wasn't much more to talk about until we hit the WoW stuff, and then it also became a lot of theorizing. So
yeah, you did your fair share too.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't trying to be a jerk about it. I was just saying you did the thing. Anytime that we say beforehand there's not a whole lot of news, we won't have a long show this week. It's an hour and a half.
I didn't say we weren't gonna have a long show. I said we didn't have much to talk about this week. Okay, we could talk a lot about nothing.
Well, that's true. Okay, anything game wise though?
I played a little Silent Hill, beat up some nurses, not real nurses.
Silent Hill nurses.
Okay.
They could have been real nurses.
Well, Chicken broke his game, so.
Yeah, I broke my game. Leave it to me to break the game. I play him too hard.
How did you break the game?
Yeah.
Okay, so one of the parts you go to an X-ray screen and you put up the X-rays on it, and I put the extra X-ray that you get right there. So I've got 3 X-rays up there. Went through the whole place. I explored and opened and beat everything in there, and then I knew where the other X-ray was, so I went and grabbed it. And I cleaned it off, and I went back to the X-ray room to put the X-ray, and all the X-rays are gone.
They're not supposed to be.
They disappeared after I picked up the 4th one. It's a bug, apparently. Apparently, when you pick up that 4th one, you go back to the X-ray room, and they're all gone, and you can't finish the puzzle.
I did not have this problem. Chicken and I play the same games and play he'll play them on maybe a different difficulty, and that's the only difference. We're playing in the same areas, the same connection, same patch, everything, and he will have the problems and I will have none. I did not have that issue at all. So I don't know how to explain what happens.
Evidently the game likes script more.
Every game does, because the same thing with Cyberpunk. When it first came out, and my first run was absolutely aside from a few minor things, was bug-free, nothing that prevented me from progressing or anything. And then Chicken over there breaking the game just entirely, crashes and stuff like that. He couldn't play it, and it's I don't know.
Yep.
But I need him to catch up to me so that I can talk to him about Silent Hill stuff. Oh, stop breaking it and just play it, Chicken.
But yeah, that's what I've played. Played a few other games, but nothing out of the ordinary.
Yeah. Nothing really groundbreaking. We've been playing the same thing 7 Days to Die and stuff like that. I don't really think there was anything super interesting. It's been kind of a low-key couple of weeks, really, as far as games go for us.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, a little bit of 7 days, and I don't think I've done too much new. Like we did what we did. What the fuck is the name of it?
We did content
Just
warning
Act
last
Natural.
night. Oh yeah, we did just
Yeah,
act
we
natural and
content
content.
warning.
Oh yeah.
Content warning, I think would be more fun if there was more variation to it, but really it's just go into dark space, attempt to find monsters, and that's it. Like rinse
We
repeat.
did find a new monster though.
Which one was the new one?
The fire breathing turtle thing.
Oh, that thing was new. Yes, we did experience a new monster that was not
I
ready.
got singed on my butt hairs, and then it ignited Griff.
Yeah, I
after.
just got absolutely roasted and died.
Oh, and the mime thing will one shot you if it touches you.
Oh yeah, we
Yes.
knew that though. We had found that out previously and just
I've
collectively
never had
forgotten it.
been touched by him before, so you know.
Oh, well,
I
yeah.
was like, neat. I was gonna shock him with a stick, and he's like, nope,
He's like, "No, I'm just
you're
gonna
just gonna
murder
die.
you." Mimes are clown adjacent, so I don't know why you thought that was gonna go any better. Clowns and mimes,
Mm,
scary.
Clowns and mimes.
they
Clowns and
don't bother
mimes.
me.
Ugh.
But yeah, I know there's lots of people that those things are just terrifying to them. So
Yeah, they're off-putting. Can't handle it. No thanks.
you should have been around when people were going around doing the all dressing up for Halloween like that and trying to purposely scare people, Griff.
No, I'm good. I'm good, but thanks. Glad I missed that. Oh, maybe next week we'll play something exciting. I don't have anything on my docket that's coming up that I'm like, this is new and interesting. I'm gonna
WoW is
make
the
us
only
try
thing on my
out.
docket. Yeah, well, I mean, there are a couple of other games that I've got lined up to look at, and there's a few on the Steam sale is coming up soon too. So there are some things that I'm looking out, but there's like my the name of my game these days is indie games. Like indie games are where it's at. Like these
They're
big
the ones
titles.
that the more like innovative and stuff and more just entertaining. I mean,
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's more fun. They give you fun. Like holy shit. They give you fun these
yeah,
days.
games aren't supposed to be fun.
What a
They're
novel
supposed to
idea.
be things to make their companies money so that they keep making more.
You're not wrong. That's unfortunately the way the entire market is shifted. Is like we got to make money, not fun. Fun makes money, people. Look at Silent Hill.
I forgot. Like I think of like 3 weeks ago or so, I tried around or played around with that Throne and Liberty for a little bit.
Did you
Oh
like
yeah, I
it?
played that a little bit too.
Did you guys like it? I don't
Yeah,
know what it is.
it's all right. It's an MMO again, but it's
Oh.
uh like how it works is kind of weird. Like you basically pick between what was it like six different weapons or something,
Yeah.
and each weapon that you have gives you different like abilities or whatever. Like you pick a staff, and then it essentially makes you a wizard,
Hmm.
and or
Oh,
you
that's
can
the
pick
one you were
a
talking about.
wand. Yeah, a wand in a book, and it's like congratulations, you now have healing abilities. Or you can
Uh,
pick a bow, and you can combine two of them
yes.
and combine the different abilities between the two sets.
Hmm.
What other game? Don't tell him, Griff. If you remember, what other game did we play that had that same functionality? That your abilities were based on weapons, not class choice. It's been a while since we've played it.
I could not tell you offhand.
Guild Wars 2.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I remember us
Guild Wars
talking about it, but I
2.
couldn't remember
I
what game it
have
was.
not. Yeah,
We have not played that one in a long time. But Guild Wars 2 was the other game that played was skills based on weapons and not skills. So, or not class choice. It was weapon choice.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, that was the other one. It's okay, but it was not my thing. It's so fucking complicated. Like there are like upgrades for your weapons and your skills and your sockets, and you've got to get like these scrolls to upgrade your skill or to put experience into your skills, and you can upgrade your skills, which will upgrade your like. There's a lot of
yeah. The
stuff
other
in there.
thing that I was not a fan of was the uh, some of the extra quests and stuff. It's like some of them you can only do while these event things are going on, and if you
Yes.
miss it, you basically have to sit there and wait for that to go through again, uh, in order to complete it. And it's like,
Yeah. That was similar to Rift, where they would give you quests for rifts and whatnot, and then the rifts would close. But at least in Rift, like it was almost
yeah, they would
constantly
open in
something
other
happened.
areas. Yeah, they
Yeah.
were.
It was
And in this one,
dynamic.
it's like, no, it is this specific area that you have to do this quest for while this event is going on. And if you just got here and you just missed it,
You gotta
Sucks to be
wait.
you.
and they're on a pretty long cooldown. Like I think one of the ones I tried to do, it was like, well, we'll see you again in 14 hours, and I'm like, what?
Hell, you won't. uh,
The fuck you will.
Oh.
Man, Rift is my
I'm not
favorite
doing that.
MMO. Rift is the GOAT MMO in my opinion. Like the fucking best MMO I have ever played.
Is it even still around?
Yes.
I thought they
No.
offlined it.
No.
Oh.
It's still around.
Okay. Well, I don't know why I thought that.
Ugh. I want like classic Rift, like the original one with like end game to it. That was the main problem. Like, I'm sorry, I've never had a leveling experience as absolutely incredible as Rift. Like like that game to me was like the best MMO I've ever played. I could go on about it
Mm.
for hours, but I'm not going to.
Yes,
There
please
was
don't.
always something to do at least in it. Up until you like when we played it, there was really no in-game content besides like what a couple of dungeons, and then it's just like, well,
Yeah, it
once you
was a
do
couple of
them,
dungeons and then a couple of world bosses, and that was it. Like that was it because it was that big skeleton guy on the tower that we tried to kill that one time, or on the bridge and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And then that was like him and one other dragon thing in the other zone, and that was the only two max level things that you could do, short of a couple of the dungeons. And it's like, okay, bro, this is not much here, people. Not much here. Ugh.
well, to be fair, by then like World of Warcraft had all their raids and stuff like that, and it was just kind of one of those things that everyone rushed to the end game so quickly. Kind of like how World of Warcraft, like Molten Core wasn't there originally with WoW either. So
You are right. It did have some. It had shit Ubers, which was a 10-man that you could do.
yeah,
Because wasn't that released in early? Wasn't that one of the
yeah, because
last
you
dungeons?
got your tier 0 gear
Yeah,
from
that's
doing
right.
strat and Ubers and stuff like that to basically get ready for the eventual raids coming out. But yeah, once you before Molten Core, once you did all those, it was just kind of like, okay, well, we need something to do now.
Hmm.
But the issue with Rift was like everyone rushed to hit that end game and was expecting stuff to already be out, like World of Warcraft had gotten, and it's like you got to give them some time for it. But unfortunately, everyone was just like, no, I don't have patience for that. I want in game stuff now,
You give it to
Yeah,
me
and
right
they just
now.
kind of
it was so empty up there. Like
yeah.
even for like grinding end game gear and whatnot, it wasn't even like I said. There's like two dungeons and a couple of world bosses. Like there was not much, and I don't even think there were gear sets to try to prep yourself for raids and things like that. But if there was a classic Rift, I'd play it again. Favorite MMO.
I
Period.
know.
All right, but that's all for me. We can keep talking, but I can see Griff is like, we need to get the fuck out of here. It's already an hour and a half. I'm gonna have to edit this thing later, so
Mm,
let me go. We'll stop holding her captive, Baka. We'll let her go.
shut up.
Fine. We'll go play Season Discovery, and I'll be your heal bot
Yeah,
All right,
there you
works for
go.
me.
with some fireballs on the side.
You're my hero. You're my healer bot now, Griff. You're retired.
I'm retired. You got a new pocket healer?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Pocket healer that can go, oh shit, fireball.
Yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm. Well.
And then everyone died.
Everybody, including me.
Mm-hmm.
Since Oak's not here, I guess thanks for everybody that hangs out each and every other week. Stop it. Stop staring at me like that.
But we're judging you, bro.
I don't know what Oak's stream schedule is looking like, but I know that he had said he was trying to get back into it more often. So, twitch.tv/MDBOaktree. And Chicken is just on indefinite hiatus, I feel like.
Maybe like if work can finally let up, I might be able to do a few hours a day while the small ones at school next month in January, things like that. But we'll see how it goes because I gotta play it by ear. I don't have as much time anymore because he's in school. He gets out at like 2:15 now,
Yeah.
so I don't get to stream as much as I used to. But I might throw up some morning streams and kind of stream for a little bit and then do chores after he gets home. I don't know. I'm still kind of debating on how this is gonna work with the little one now. Oh, the
Yeah.
bigger one now, I should say.
He's at that point where we still have to run around with him and like be there a lot. So he can't because he's not like, okay, I'll just go sit in my room and play for hours at a time by myself. So it's not that kind of free time yet, but one day we'll get back to that. Wouldn't that be nice?
One day.
So yeah, I'm not sure what the deal with that is, and I'm also not sure what Oak's schedule is like. So if you just, hit the follow on both of those, that's good enough. It'll send you a notification through Twitch when they're on. Since that's probably that and like maybe a ping from Discord, that's about all you're gonna get. Speaking of, if you want to join the Discord and you haven't already, there should be a link in the description, wherever the description for this podcast is on whatever avenue you're watching / listening to it. That's where you should be able to find the link to the Discord. And I think that's it. I mean, if you're watching this on YouTube already, you might as well hit the sub button. And maybe a thumbs up if you're into it. If not, that's cool. That's whatever you want to do, man.
Just hit that like button. Just hit that like button. Yeah, that's right. Good podcast. We appreciate it.
I think that's it, right? Okay,
Yep,
cool.
that should be it.
Well, from Respawn, I'm Grev.
I'm Chicken.
Baka.
Bye.
Bye.
Please hang up and try again.